My name is Sol Bondi. I'm one of the two producers of the film.
My name is Jacob Charek. I am a producer on the film.
My name is Martin. I made the music for the film.
I'm Ali Abbasi. I'm the writer, director, and producer of Holy Spider.
I'm Zahar Amir Ibrahimi, the female main role, casting director.
My name is Kategorie Bonze, and I'm the sound re-recording mixer of the film.
My name is Mehdi. I'm actor of Holy Spider.
الان نمیدونم این قاتل انگبوتی میگن چیه اصلا با خودم فقط شنیدم
شش هفت ماه دنبالشن خب اصلا گیرش نمیار.
چطوره که شما هنوز سر نخی پیدا نکردید؟
It's an Iranian film noir which is inspired by true events that happened in the city of Mashhad in Iran in 2000-2001 of a guy who tried to cleanse the streets of Mashhad from vice and prostitution. So he went out after sex workers and tried to murder as many as he could on a murder spree. And it's ultimately also about the society that enabled him and the roots of misogyny in Iranian society.
We went location scouting in Mashhad years before to have a look at the town, and it's a very special place. It's in the northeast of Iran. It's in the middle of this dry landscape. It has this kind of like looming mountain beside it where you can go up and look at the city. And I remember one of Ali's first visions with the film was actually to, recreate Iran so Iranians would believe it themselves.
When we got the biggest compliments from people who used to live in Iran or are still living in Iran who cannot believe that this film was not shot in Iran, which was really a testament to the especially the fantastic production design. It shows basically the end of the opening sequence. You could also call it it's like a bit of like the pre-title sequence. And I thought it would be interesting to speak about this because I remember there was so much conversation and thought from the creative side of our team that poured into this opening sequence of how much do we show, how the killer is shown. It's also like the first time that the score really kind of comes in and the whole sound design really presses you into your cinema seat.
I think generally when we talked about music, we wanted something that was first of all not too Persian and had to be very contemporary, and we tried different paths and see what fitted the film the best. I think at some point I probably came up with the idea of working in a grungy direction with the music, something that would underline the whole grit of the whole filth and dirt and the industrial elements.
We want to establish that there is a darkness, there is a sort of a mysterious, brooding mood.
The sound of the motorcycle being his very identity in a way. That's his sonic identity. The first time he comes up with it, it's just this like really low and massive sound that almost doesn't quite match the bike that he's riding, but it just gives us a sense of what that means for the story. And when we then have this drone shot, music does a terrific job in just taking over from there.
We wanted it to be like a real proper, now the film star, that kind of almost like a Hollywood feel, like, whoa, being sucked into the belly of the beast. So it was very important that it would grow out of something naturally, like that the music should come out of the bike, would come out of the surroundings as a natural element that you can blend in and out of. But when it comes to that piece, which comes again during the film in other shapes, we wanted it to be like almost like a hero theme.
It's actually interesting, this whole hero conversation, I sort of had forgotten about it, but now that you mention it, because that's really what we talked about, and that's really how we treated him, because like he's not really treated as a criminal. We don't shy away from showing like empathy for this character, and we leave people in that space of, well, you can kill 16 people and be a despicable human being and a very good dad. And that's really where it gets complicated. From the technical aspect, that I think still is really astonishing for me, is the ease that Mehdi did this character. And I think that is really the core of why this representation is so chilling.
I had a lot of problem before the decision to play this role, because I was thinking, if you gonna play this role, so what's happened for your future in Iran society, in my career in Iran. But after I think 2 or 3 weeks, I changed my mind, and I was thinking you have to do this.
Maybe you can just talk a little bit about your situation after the film came out and what you've been doing with your life.
After the movie came up, so I had a lot of problem. I get some bad message from Iranian people, some audience, and so obvious. And actually, I couldn't come back to my country, because if I came back to my country, so they will arrest me. After shooting, I came directly to Europe, to Germany, and the production, they helped me, and they got some scholarship to me.
I just think it's important to get this for people who are watching this, maybe just to understand the scope of the risk that you took for this.
My heart, I like to come back to my country, because I prefer to continue my life in my country. But my heart like to come back, but my mind say no. You can be safe a little bit outside your country.
I think we also need to talk about your profound and great acting in this film also, but not to forget that you had a huge role of casting this entire film.
It took really, really long time. And as Mehdi says, many of them, they took a big risk. As Mehdi says, he took time to make this decision. And then when he told me he wants to do this, I myself, I was a bit surprised, and I just asked him, why are you doing this? Do you know you take huge risk? And he said, I want to do it because I think I need once in my life to do something without censorship, to do something honest, and with a good director, with a good crew, with a good team. And I think everyone had this idea of just doing something very special, something very important, because, the whole experience of this movie is kind of it is very special because it's all about liberty.
یهویی
کار به زحمتم مواترم بکنین تو.
به شما ربطی نداره.
آره اما که بیایی
شما کارتو درست انجام بده، به شما ربطی نداره.
اما که شما رو که نمیشه.
راه بنداز، حوصله ندارم. راه بنداز، کارم می‌کنم.
I think we chose this other scene to talk about was, of course, Za's phenomenal acting in this very scene, which I think, this scene really, it's such a interesting spotlight on what it means to be an Iranian woman.
When I saw the movie, I was just thinking it's a cliche of everything we can think about Iranian women's situation in Iran.
But then on top of that, maybe even more intense to move as a woman in Maschhad, which has an added layer of conservatism, and I think the scene with the moral police shows that very well.
شرمنده خانم مثل که یک مشکلی تو سیستم ما پیش اومده شرمنده تنم ولی اصلا ما پره امشب رزرو نداره تا خالی نداره.
When you go into the hotel room and it's arguably for me, it's one of the most visually like soothing or soft scenes. What we did in the sound, I think is interesting about sound is that when it's usually the strongest when it goes against the image, and when the image was soft and private, we decided to still counteract that with constant like honking and like sirens from the outside to not lose the threat of the city, which I find like is almost like the sonic counterpart to the catcalling, because it has this like testosterone energy from the outside, meaning even here when you're in supposed privacy, you don't forget that what's waiting down the outside is unforgiving.
In a way, I think some people, when they call this like this is not a real Iranian movie, I think they're absolutely right, because in every other Iranian movie, you either think about things that you have to say, you have to get through censorship, or the things that you can't say, or the things that now you can say because you're in the United States.
The fact that Rahimi gets stopped, like with every step she takes, she gets stopped. And this is only the beginning, but it's a very like strong beginning. And you can guess as a spectator that, okay, we're faced the fighter, and the whole movie for me, it's about this fight toward the liberty, this fight for the truth, and this is what Rahimi actually is doing.
There's another hero theme here. If Said was like this strange man on a motorbike shadow thing that goes and like does stuff in the dark, and then disappears, then you sort of or your character is sort of the opposite. Like you come out of the dark into this place, and then you go in, and then like once you get into your booth, you change, you transform, you put on your superhero thing on with a job. You get your knife, you get your pad, everything you need to go out there and do your job.
من اصلا میگم نکنه این همینجا زندگی میکنه. نه من به پلیسا اعتماد ندارم. نه من میگم بهشون اعتماد ندارم. به 1001 دلیل من به خود تو هم به زور اعتماد میکنم. خیلی خب ایده احمقانه منم کله خرم. حالا میخوای کمک کنی یا نه؟
I think if we really try to accomplish something, and this is really like a lot of credit to your performance and Mehdi's performance and our other actors, it was really about trying to capture a sense of unfiltered life, and this unfiltered life doesn't need to be super crazy and explicit, but it just like it's idiosyncratic. It's like sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's a taboo breaking thing. Also because we're dealing with a culture and a government where there are so many red lines and taboos that seeing from outside, it can almost become like absurd. That this has been also part of our journey, really, and the movie's journey. I think people, after what has happened in Iran, since the Iranian unrest, revolution, whatever you would call it, I think people have gotten understanding that, okay, you can actually get shot for like having a headscarf from here to here.
نه همش نه مریضن و آشغال. تازه یکی عاملا بود. شکمش بالا اومده بود. والله تباوره. آدم با یه بچه تو شکمش این ور اون ور بخوابه.
Because a lot of people have come to us as a team and have commented on the level of violence in this film. And I just want to add, just from my side, that of course, especially amongst filmmakers, it's clear nobody got hurt. There's a lot of violence, but there's VFX, there's makeup. But there is one scene that I personally find the most violent and brutal, where there's no VFX and there's no makeup, and this is really the ending of the film, because this is really taken straight out of a documentary. And this really sums up the entire film and also the entire level of violence in this country, the one that we're depicting, because it just shows, how a certain mindset is passed on to another generation, and how this is really a circle of violence.
هیچی دیگه یه چیزی می آورده که اونا رو بتونه لاش بپیچه. مثلا شوخی نیست، دارم فیلم میگیرم. تکون نخور.
من مردم.
مسخره.
This violence, when I heard in the first time in Cannes, when people, they told me this is a really violent movie, and I was just like, what? The violence for me as an Iranian, as a woman from Middle East, is something else really than a European, French woman or guy who's living in Saint-Germain in Paris. And, so I think it's good to be open, and it's good to just feel this emotion. That was always my wish about this movie, that people, they get shocked and they feel this emotion. This is what we can do always with cinema. But this is part of our life, real life. And this is, for me, this is the truth, this movie.